Hey, it's Patti Scharf, CPA and co-founder of Catching Clouds, the leader in e-commerce accounting. Welcome back to another Saturday Slowdown, where I like to remind everybody to work on their business and not just in their business. In honor of tax season, I'm going to share a story that took me probably a decade before I started sharing it with the world. Okay, so 11 and a half years ago, I bought a tax firm with my then partner. He and I both, we wanted to buy a firm instead of build one because we thought building one would take too much time and effort, and we wanted to spend more time with our young families that we had. So we decided to buy this tax firm. We thought we did our due diligence. Lesson number one, do a better job of due diligence. And it was a nightmare. I can't even begin to tell you. The whole firm was broken from top to bottom. All the tax returns were wrong. We had to basically go through a transition with a whole new group of staff. At the same time, we were filing tax returns. At the same time, we were amending prior year's returns. At the same time, we were responding to literally hundreds of notices, like payroll notices and things like that. So it was not what we had signed up for, go figure. And we were working all the time. I was working 7 days a week, 18 hours a day. That's about 120 hours a week, a little more than that, if you do the math. And honestly, that's just when I stopped counting. I would go to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning with my mind racing and not being able to actually fall asleep. I would wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning with heart palpitations, just like in a sheer panic, looking ahead to my day. I know that there was more than one time that we would just have breakdowns in the office. And I know that after the end of tax season, April 16th, 8 o'clock in the morning, I was at home wandering around my house, not knowing what to do with myself if I wasn't working. The phone rang and I just burst into tears, just as like an instinctive reaction. So I think I had a little bit of PTSD with all that. So I'm telling you all of that to tell you this. Because of that experience, as hard as it was, I learned so much in a short period of time. And when 2011 came around and Scott and I decided to build Catching Clouds, I knew exactly what I didn't want to do and what didn't work, because we made every mistake in the book, so that when we started Catching Clouds, I could build the dream that I wanted. And number one on that is that busy is a 4-letter word. Now, actually, I'm a fairly big fan of swearing because there are just some times when golly does not make a good substitute for sake. You just need the swear word sometimes. But busy is not a great word. How many times does somebody come up to you and they ask you how you're doing and you answer with, I'm really busy? Busy is not a state of condition, right? You are not a human doing, you are a human being. So if somebody is going to ask you how you're doing, by all means, take that time, take the opportunity to engage with them, right? Tell them how you are actually doing. I think it's actually an epidemic in the US. I don't know about other places, but certainly in the US, people wear this I'm busy as a badge of honor. Or worse, people will treat it as a competition. Oh, you think you're busy? Let me tell you about all the stuff I have going on in my life. And I remember when I was in that nightmare of a firm, and I remember talking to a client on the phone, and he was like, I don't know, complaining because the return was late or something like that. Not late, just late for him, but we filed it on time. And I was like, I'm so sorry, it's just been really busy around here. And he was like, basically he said, I don't believe you. I've never met anybody who has worked more than me. And I'm like, seriously? And you don't know my life. But honestly, this is not, busyness should not be a one-upmanship kind of a thing. And it really shouldn't be that way. It makes people sick. Hey, I've got some. So this is one of my favorite hats, allergic to stress. I wear this when I'm working out. I wear it on the weekends in particular to remind myself that it's not all about working, right? It's not about being busy. You need time. Your brain needs time to just chill. Your body needs time to chill. When I was going through that whole nightmare of a thing, like I gained like 30 pounds and 10 years of wrinkles, and I felt like an utter failure as a wife and a mother and a business owner. Like, that is not a way to live. Busy is not a great thing. You know, you need time to relax, to be creative, to think. And here's the thing, creating a kick-ass business and having a life should not be mutually exclusive. They don't need to be. You can have both at the same time. And I totally applaud the people who can do it successfully, because it can be really challenging to do. You have to be very intentional about it and very strategic about it. You need to know what things are most important to you so you can make those priorities in designing your firm, in designing your business, and designing your life. Now, if you're all thinking, oh, that's all well and good, but you don't know my life, and this is going to be virtually impossible, I've got a place for you to start. I read 3 books over the last 4 months, Present Over Perfect, Essentialism, and It Doesn't Have to Be Crazy at Work. I would start by reading those books and embracing those concepts. People all over the world are now starting to redesign their firms, redesign their lives. They're selling their house, getting an RV, working on the road, traveling with their families. Scott and I have been in Australia and New Zealand for the past 4 months. We have about 1 month left. And we're making it happen because that's what we have chosen for our business. I continue to try being really intentional with my time and limiting my work to no more than 40 hours a week. Some weeks are more successful than others, but I think it's really important, and I also make that a goal for our team. In fact, this year we're trying to get them down to 32 to 35 hours a week per person, because I just think people need time in their week, not just to be working. Okay, I'm out of here with my family. Like, I want them to work at a pace that's leisurely enough that they can go, oh, this process isn't quite working the way I'd like it to. Let me see how I can make it better. So they have more time to focus on that other stuff. So I guess this is a whole other topic for another YouTube video for another day. But calm is really the focus of our firm for this entire year, because it is the opposite of busy. We do not like busy. We want calm. And if you're wondering how you actually slow down, here's a tip for you. You slow down by slowing down. Like, it seems so strange, but this is exactly how I did it. When I was working 60 out, now it may not work in the extreme case I was talking about before, but in a normal day-to-day world where you're working 80 hours a week, you just start putting up boundaries, and you just decide, this week I'm only going to work 60 hours a week. And you start doing that, and suddenly you got to cram in 80 hours worth of stuff into 60 hours. You're going to be like, I don't need to do that, or that. And what you'll find is you actually got all the important stuff done, because you naturally prioritized based on what you knew really needed to get done, and the other 20 hours really kind of went away. And then you go from 60 hours down to 40 hours, or 50 hours to 40 hours, or whatever. And eventually you'll figure out what your most important tasks are. And actually, if you read the book Essentialism, they've got some really great stories in there about people who exactly did that. And I'm telling you, it totally works. And finally, get some good quality sleep. I work so hard to get 8 hours of sleep every night. My body, I'm too old. I can't do that. If I'm getting 7 hours of sleep, I'm super happy about it. But whatever amount of sleep your body actually needs, get that amount of sleep. Your body needs it so much for processing and memory and all kinds of different things, just for rejuvenation. It's really, really important. And I guess that's it for today. I guess now you know why this work-life balance thing is such a huge soapbox issue for me. Lived it, been there, don't want to go back. So please join me on the other side, right? I hope you like this video. If you did, please like, comment, and share. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I'll catch you later.